Residents have been advised to take precautions immediately as that heavy rain continues to threaten Southern California through the weekend. Fox Weather Meteorologist Bayne Froney is in Malibu, California, under the evacuation warnings. Bayne, we talked about this yesterday when you were on the ground, that folks in these neighborhoods that are still destroyed, recovering after the wildfires at the start of this year, they're on high alert, basically collecting the important belongings ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah, exactly, Jane. And, this morning it has been intense. I mean, the rain rates right now, they're going down pretty hard. I mean, they're a little bit on the lighter end than what we've seen in the past couple of hours. I mean, at one point we did see a really strong system that rolled in from the coast. I mean, we saw rain rates picking up nearly half an inch in 20 minutes. I mean, we had our own rain gauge and we were measuring it out. In our spot, specifically in Malibu, we got about 0.4 of an inch. And that was, again, within 20 to 25 minutes. Anywhere in the country, that is going to be an intense rain rate, but especially for here in California, just because of the topography, usually a very dry area. And on top of this, too, like you mentioned there, Jane, talking about those burn scars, these areas that are so vulnerable already from the January fires. Now, before we jump into all of that, I do want to point out what's going on behind me because, I mean, on this roadway, you can see all of this water continuing to flow down the road at a pretty quick rate. And since we've been standing here for about an hour, this water has increased by double, honestly. And just about an hour ago, this roadway was actually undrivable because there was a small mudslide that occurred here, but thankfully crews were able to get to it very quickly. They cleared out all of the rocks that started to slide down as well as all of the mud, and they moved up the hill to continue to get all of those mudslides impacts on the roads out of the way so that neighbors and people in the community can get in and out of this road. So a scary situation for a lot of folks, and we're currently in a neighborhood that was greatly impacted by the fires just this past January with those burn scars. And a reason that these burn scars are so dangerous is because the soil just can't absorb any more water at that point once it's all burned. On top of this, too, the vegetation has burned, so it can no longer be helpful in trying to stop any of that water from coming down. And this is why we have those flash flood warnings that are popping up. We are currently under one here in Malibu, and that's going to be in place for a few more hours. We could also see debris flows, and of course, like we already saw right behind me, those mudslides. Now, I want to take you over this way, because over here, we are looking at a small creek, which is normally very quiet this time of year, even during the rainy season, even when we start to see some more of that rain popping up, and nothing like this. So this creek is normally very quaint. It's a peaceful creek, but at this point, it is absolutely roaring. Take a look out there. I mean, you can see how fast this water is moving at this point. It's pulling in some of that debris. We even saw a few rocks making their way down this stream as well. And that just goes to show how strong that water is if it's able to pull up some of these pebbles, some of these larger rocks and move them downstream. Again, this is a spot where we do have a lot of impacts from those burn scars, especially up higher into the mountain areas. And this is a very hilly terrain. It's steep hills at this point. And, these steep hills, these areas that folks live in, they're used to dealing with some of these flooding impacts, but not to this degree. And again, that's because of the just such catastrophic fires and the burn scars that were left behind. So a lot of folks taking this very seriously. Like I had just mentioned, people here, they're usually kind of used to seeing a lot of flooding impacts just because of the way the topography is. But in the past few months, they've seen just how much a little bit of water can do and how much damage it can cause. So being on high alert is so, so important. I also want to mention too, in the past 5 or 6 hours, we've picked up a good inch of rain or more in parts of the LA County, even yesterday picking up half an inch of rain. And normally throughout the entire month of November, we see about 3/4 of an inch of rain. And that's the start of the rainy season for Southern California. So even at this point, we've already seen a month's worth of rain within about a 48-hour period, and we still have more rain to come. We're expecting to see these rain rates going from intense to moderate for the next few hours. At this point, it's lightening up a little bit, but Jane, over the past few hours, we have seen such intense rain rates. Like I had mentioned before, 0.4 of an inch of rain falling in 20 minutes. I mean, that's going to be impactful just about anywhere. And we are expecting another 2 to 3 inches falling by the time Sunday comes around. Now, I will say this, I do think, looking at the forecast, by the time we get into the late afternoon and into the evening, the rain, it doesn't stop, but it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit more isolated. So we'll have peaks of drier conditions, which will be really helpful. But at the same time, the rain doesn't really let up until we get into Sunday night, and then a few more drier days before a possible another round of rain comes into the area. So again, folks on high alert, we're under this flash flood warning for a few more hours. We already saw over near Santa Barbara as well. I know you were mentioning that earlier, Jane, getting over 3 inches of rain already. They did have a flash flood warning early this morning that was under a considerable tag, which for those that maybe don't know what that is, it's basically an indication that there could be some serious damage happening very, very quickly. So taking that so seriously, and you know, for the most part, we've seen a lot of people off of the roads, which is the good news. People are taking these warnings obviously seriously right now, Jane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned a month's worth of rain, or more than a month's worth of rain in the course of just a matter
Plural.
of days. Yesterday, we had multiple records broken for daily rainfall that were set back in the 1950s, Santa Barbara being one of them, where we had, I'm just reading the report here coming in, if I can find it on the list, Santa Barbara Airport, 2.21 inches of rain yesterday alone. And then, you know, we've picked up more today. So this morning, as you've mentioned, in the thick of it, becomes more intermittent as we go through the rest of the weekend, but still remaining on high alert. Bayne Froney, thank you for the report there on the ground in Malibu, California. We'll be checking back in.